Wednesday, June the 29th, 2022. This is a longer one. 3,644 was posted to the Anachronisms blog. It's called 55 miles per hour, like the sign says. Today is a special day. It is precisely 3 weeks after the occasion of my 55th birthday. I used to be all sorts of vague with regard to the specifics of time here. Within the poems here that I cumulatively call by the trite name they have become stuck with, appropriately I still believe, anachronisms. As in when exactly? As in at what specific time did I spend with these quatrains muling a somewhat befuddling double nickel birthday? Might it have been something special? Something inappropriate? Or something that is rather particularly exemplary of me, that could show in some way the best of all possible me's? And how that perfect me could not but be some relevance to you, probably not, but I could try, to celebrate it for the 3 weeks this has already been occurring. Have I not already been personally celebrating since, birth? Beyond that, however, is the uniquely singular celebration, the now seemingly normal celebration of one. But there is you. Plenty of lovely, loving thoughts keep getting directed from the only person with whom I can so desirously and hopefully imagine really wanting to spend this or any forthcoming birthday, holiday, weekend, lazy evening after work. And did you think it would not always be this special? That you would not always be this special? Again, it is in this way that I can never really truly know what was before. Well, my friends, and these meanderings. Special can be felt, and is, and can be imagined, and this unlikely, luxuriant, inexplicable love can be found in more ways than can be counted. There can come that era when each day after another will refuse not to be more special and more unlikely and more undeserved than any before. Or no, clearly today is not even my day to celebrate anything, and yet, how dare you? It is a day of celebration like no other, now that I am 55 and 3 weeks old. How dare I spend such time filling my silly brain with such doubts, most especially about you? To the question of how I can be so worthy as to get to experience the magnificence of this, well, either I am or I am not. So I turn these silly thoughts into just another fortuitous and unlikely joyride. And why? Oh, why not? Of the impossibility of being ungrateful, for the inability of feeling, the capability of such feeling, any less grateful one day than I do the next, and so indelicately and routinely. These are the conundrums that make up the very miracle of existence itself, like the paradoxes of importance of my each and every day. Oh, the thought of every day with you. I deserve this every day. You may not be so deserving of this blah. You may find this a bit less than that for which you had bargained, but you are such a gift to me. But there is ever a complaint. I am sure there are those that are harbored, but I can see how this is not something for which you, unlike me, care to give much of your precious thought. So how can my life not be rich without your presence? Who could honestly call this nonsense and mean it as I pretend I do? If anyone were ever to deserve such a thing, would it be naught but an exercise in the unnecessary? Could it be enough? Would it be but an impossible whim, an exercise in futility to laugh at my life as if so passive, any more than the impossibility that I could in some small way change my pacifism, let's say? I used to be well known for spending weeks lost in but one birthday or negligible holiday or another with my compatriots who turned out to push me along until I was 50 into a world with no compatriots, zero. There were compatriots, they were. Such disappearances are not gauche in some circles. Some, the general lot of them, can come to seem perfectly normal. Many species mate and then die. Do I? The cycle continues. So what if I've spent my official 55th birthday being several years older than 55? It is officially only because I have said it. 2.5 years plus 3 weeks plus 60 years of that which is official only because I say it is, it being 3 and 20 years plus some odd number of weeks since, and have one true anniversary of my long ago birth. And here it could be said that I was once notorious among my compatriots, once to have been notorious for celebrating the anniversary of my birthdays, the anniversaries of my birthdays, for as long as a complete month at a time, for perhaps even 2. There were rituals involving other people, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health. There has been a tremendous amount of incalculable pleasure. Pressure? Better? Any occasion is best, especially that of a close death, the distance found both tragic and terribly magnificent, so useful and so beautiful, in which to gather the appropriate perspective. My holiday, if I may, is a holiday and a half, and that is at the very least. After all, it's my birthday, but today I've spent it working on things to keep me not only happy, but doing things that will have me grow older and grow less and less alone, having long ago lost all of my believed existence to fools who would consider my invitation, my nonsense, my odd notion of living, of existing, worthless. And I can only hope that we may, as it seems more and more likely to be the case, be alone almost never. Be together, you and I. Anyway, we are an unexpected aspect of such a lost and found existence, a spark that spreads like wildfire on a frozen tundra, that I shall have another birthday as long as I shall live, which some days, honestly, I don't think will be a moment longer. And yet the joke is not only on me, but it is me, and it is from me to you with love. It's that bad luck thing that I dwell on all too often while trying not to. Because of the way we were once told to live, a singular way to die is why we are no longer told to live, we simply live. Is that living? Our eyes half open, not even expecting a swerve, not knowing one will come, and then a fire so deep and so mutual that we freeze and fixate and live it together with a stew of higgledy-poop, which is what I try to have in lieu of a cake. But what about this year? Higgledy-poop. Cake, ice cream, ice dreams that are just the two of us. All the flat-headed frozen brain skulls that have been emptied, gone. The best use of my time, ice cream and cake. But enough of this wishy-washy uncertainty about whether or not I will live to feel the longest imaginable hug from he who I can only hope will be my longest ever partner, and by record numbers, which would be somewhat astounding, I suppose, if I were to put more thought into these things just for a moment, but there is not enough time. Quite. Seeing how in order to do that, what would I be seeking that is not about the crazy dream I had last night, in which we were traveling quickly to get somewhere else together? Before one of the two of us, obviously me, lost life, was dead, would have become non-existent just for taking too long? What does it mean to approach a relationship of over 2.5 years, approaching a trinity, and having never had the ability to even touch? All this sounds like sadness to the grip of a pretty mid to twilight age birthday in which I've extended yet again to have such random and mostly pleasant or satisfying thoughts. So I keep reminding myself that day after day after day after day of those not so satisfying thoughts, why bother with them? Especially when there are so many wonderfully satisfying thoughts of imagined adventures, of lovely conversations, and of spending entire cool evenings like this one, well into the morning love those thoughts. The adventures, the things we've never done, like touching, which seems absurd but yet exciting and yet unfair all at once, simultaneously, considering we have what are otherwise the same cycles that two people often have in a relationship. It's no less real. Is this something I keep needing to tell myself? Sure, it's uncharted territory. And if I were to think of the odds stacked against our favor when it comes to having a precious forever thing, and what would that be? What with things like age difference and current separate hemispheres, and either the world and or its people growing so weary that things have what seem an all too often apoplectic flair. Fuck me in my doubts. Fuck logic. Yes, it has to be the best experience of love that I've yet to encounter, and I'd like to consider that I've experienced so much of it. Please just take me at my word. Should I have photographs that I can share? Perhaps. Will I ever share them with you, my dear reader? Perhaps. But perhaps not. I'll close with what I plan to be the celebration with which I will share with my surely befuddled and hopefully just bemused and could it possibly even be proud mate. How I'm going to close off this evening's rather morbid but so very real poem. I've got candles each in the shape of a red 5 with gold glitter covering up the bottom halves. These are poked into a pair of pears atop my microwave. I've also got some white sage incense stuck into a half-burned candle bowl, which I'm about to get up and light right this moment, knowing full well that the pungent odor will be divine for perhaps a few seconds, and then fill my coffin-sized SRO way too pungently shortly thereafter. And I might as well mention that I am buck naked for two things I'm wearing. One is a silver tiara made of paper that says "Happy Birthday," think rabbit ears. The other, a sash across my diabetic tummy, which I'm thinking is ever so slightly less than plump, tub that it was when I first was diagnosed with diabetes. My first bout with COVID-19 apparently drew it out of me quite deliberately. Across the sash upon my distended belly are the words in a multicolored font, "It's my birthday." Very shimmery and festive. So now I shall paste on my smile and see if I can reach my new reason to celebrate my birthday, which I generally always have. It's not that melodramatic, much as I try, and yet it obviously is. Here's to hoping our lips touch for the first time this year, perhaps even in a couple of short months. Happy birthday to me.